Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our curriculum night for Lindbergh High School. And I'd like to welcome all of our first-time parents who are with us this evening for the class of 2026. We have a great panel here for you to introduce some information that will be very valuable to help your child navigate the next 4 years of their time at Lindbergh High School. So we're really excited. We are always excited to invite the new class of students to come into our building. And it will be a new building. So they will be trailblazers in that regard as well. So that's also exciting. My name is Eric Cochran. I'm the principal at Lindbergh. And I do want to, on the next slide that we have available for you as it pops up here, go ahead and go through Tony, and that's me. Again, head principal, Lindbergh High School. The next slide is the team that will be supporting your children during their time here at the high school. You have Assistant Principal Lindsay Perkins, the counselor for most of our 2026 students will be Christy Kinsler. We also have Dr. Riethmeyer, who works with those students who have IEPs within the class, actually within all of our classes. And then our administrative assistant is Sarah Doza. And so just very briefly, and I know this will get touched on again at the end by Mrs. Perkins, but the format of this is we have about a 30-minute presentation where we go through a lot of the nuts and bolts about going to Lindbergh High School. After this, you will log off of this Zoom and you will log on to the second Zoom that was sent to you. That is a place where we will have breakout groups, and you will be able to visit 10-minute rotations and meet with different departments where you can ask questions. You can also come to the administrative and just come to the main page of that and ask us questions. I'll be at that page the entire evening if you have specific questions for us. So we'll go ahead and turn this over to the rest of the team and get started. And I think Christy Kinsler is going to get us going on information about ninth grade.
Okay, thank you. Next slide, please. All right, so we would love to share with you kind of an outline of this transition period as your 8th grader prepares to become a high schooler. Right now, during this week and the beginning of next week is when Dr. Riethmeyer and I and Mrs. Perkins came along today too and tomorrow to meet with the 8th graders and give them all the information they need to learn about high school and start that registration process. So that's going on this week and the beginning of next week. We did large groups today and tomorrow. Then we're going to come back and meet with the kids in their social studies classes to give them a little more one-on-one and answer their questions. Then by February 11th, that's when we would like the students to have all their course registration information completed. So there's a registration form that will need to be uploaded and courses entered into SIS. Dr. Riethmeyer will give more details on that later on in the presentation. So that's when they put all the requests in, and then it takes a while to get our master schedule put together, but then in early August is when we will be releasing the actual schedules. So the students will know what courses they are taking with what teachers and what classrooms and all that. That'll be in early August. There will be a transition day. This will be so exciting. I know your kids will be excited to be up there. We're excited to be up there in the new building, learning our way around, and the students will get to walk their schedule and all that. It'll be a really fun, exciting day for them on August 10th. That's a tentative date, but that's the plan for now. And then our first day of their 9th grade year will be August 23rd. So it'll be here before we know it. Next slide, please. If you are a parent of a student from a private or parochial school currently, and they are going to come to Lindbergh next year, you can go ahead and begin the registration process. You'll need to go to the website, and we are sharing the slideshow with you all later, so you can have this information. You can also find it on just the Lindbergh Schools website. And Tara Musante is a district registrar, and she can be reached at that phone number and email address. Next slide, please. So this is something we are taking some time to talk to your to the eighth graders about what is required for graduation. So we go back over this each year at registration time, but the main point is they need to earn 24 credits to graduate. And this is a list of all the specific things that are required of them. As you can see, they'll have to take English every year of high school, and on down the line, something that would be a half credit like health or personal finance, that's just a semester long class. A 1 credit would be a year long course. So those are the requirements for students in their 4 years of high school. We try to just repeat this over and over so the students are aware of what they need to accomplish to graduate in 2026. Right, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Riethmeyer, and he's going to get into the information about registering.
Next slide, please. Next slide. What I'd like to do is kind of give you just an overview as to what the students are going to get and how this process will work with signing up for courses for our Sparing and Truman students. Private and parochial students, like Ms. Kinsler mentioned, we do a separate enrollment meeting where we go over this stuff. Like I said, I'm just going to give a general overview. Your students are going to get this in a lot more detail with step-by-step instructions of how to do this. First thing I wanted to mention is our course guide, which is our navigator. This contains all the course descriptions, prerequisites, anything and everything about the courses we offer here at Lindbergh. It's an electronic document that is available to browse through, so I wanted to point that out and emphasize that. Next slide. For our current Sparing and Truman students, they will receive this teacher recommendation form. They should have received it either today or yesterday at school. If they didn't, because they were absent or something of that nature, it will be distributed to them when they come back. But this is something that their teacher sat down and just made some recommendations based on their knowledge of the student as to what they should take in regards to regular versus honors or anything special like that. Unfortunately, Ms. Kinsler and I don't know your students at this time, and we're pretty much useless in trying to recommend specific courses for your student. So we asked their teachers to do that. So hopefully this will help in having them choose the courses that are most appropriate for them. Next slide. Now there's a whole host of courses students can choose from. And a typical day has 7 class periods. This next slide right here lists all the different options a 9th grader can take. Obviously, there's well more than 7 courses on here, but this is like the menu of courses. And this is something that's going to be shared with students that they can kind of go through to help guide and give them an idea of what is available. It's grouped on here by content area in alphabetical order. And on here, in addition to the course name, there's a course number preceding it, which is necessary when entering their course request into our system. Next slide, please. This registration form is kind of the tool students are going to use as a rough draft, if you will, to kind of map out what they're thinking of taking. And Ms. Kinsler and I are going to go over this in a lot more detail with your students. But on here, the top third of it is where students put the core courses they're going to take. The middle third is if they want to do any modern language or elective courses, that is put there. And then on the very bottom, we ask students to come up with some alternatives or some backups. It's rare, but sometimes students, we have a class that gets canceled for whatever reason, or it's not being offered, or there's a conflict in a student's schedule. So we like them ahead of time to come up with a couple backup courses in the rare instance where that occurs. Next slide, please. Here's an example of what a course registration form would look like with it being completed. And like I said, Ms. Kinsler and I are going to go in great detail with your students about how to do this. But on here, there's a course number that corresponds with every course. And this is what it would look like when the student completes. Next slide. This slide is perhaps the most important slide when it comes to registering and signing up for courses. This slide or this information is going to be emailed directly to your students within the next couple days. And these 5 steps are what a student needs to do to sign up for their courses. What's nice about this slide or this information, all the necessary links and forms and instructions are right on this form. So if you have this form, you and your student have everything you need in order to sign up for courses for next school year. So step one is that registration form, which I just went over on the last slide, where you use that as a worksheet, if you will, to put in what you're thinking of taking, the alternative courses and that type of stuff. The second step that has the link to the navigator, as well as a list of all the courses a ninth grader can take. Step three just reminds the student you have 7 periods in the day that we need you to fill, and then 4 alternative courses or backup courses. Step 4, these are the step-by-step instructions of how your student will enter their courses into the SIS portal or our system. This is something that they'll do on their own at home. We will show them how to do this and demonstrate it for them, but we've been doing this for the last 5 years, and our 8th graders have been excellent at this, and in some cases, even better than the existing high school students in getting this completed. And then finally, the 5th step is where they take that registration form, that worksheet, if you will, and that gets uploaded into Google. So we have that as reference if something goes awry with the data entry, or if we need to look at a replacement course if there's a conflict or anything. All of these steps we'd like students to complete by Friday, February 11th. So where registration is first and foremost in hopefully our students' minds. At this point, I'd like to turn it back over to Ms. Kinsler to continue with the presentation.
Okay, we are going to talk about now how to help your student choose classes. Next slide, please. Lucky for all of us, there's not a ton of different options for freshman year, so it won't be too hard to come up with a full schedule. They are required in ninth grade to take English 1, of course, regular or honors, world history, same, biology, and then a math class. And that math class would just be based on their teacher recommendation, because students, of course, are in different levels of math in 8th grade. So they'll have those 4 core classes. On top of that, there are some things that we recommend that they put on their schedule for freshman year. They have to take a whole year, a whole credit of PE in high school. The PE classes are offered for a semester each. So they can try taking 1 PE class their freshman year, get half of that out of the way. They can take 2 PE classes for a full year, but it is recommended to kind of start working on getting that PE taken care of. Health is another class we recommend for students to take in their freshman year, and that's another half credit course. And also something that is recommended to consider is a learning lab. We're going to talk about that more on the next slide, but that's basically a study hall period, and that does not earn your student any credit. But that's okay, we have extra credits built in to the 4 years. Some additional options that your student might be considering in addition to their required courses, modern language, especially if they are in a modern language in 8th grade, they're taking German 1, for example, they're going to want to continue with that foreign language. They're not going to want to have a gap in between. So modern language, a practical art, perhaps a fine art, or consider beginning, if they have an interest in one of our Project Lead the Way sequences, there's a biomedical sequence that is a 4-year program, and there's an engineering sequence that students can do for 3 or 4 years as well. So that might be worth considering, because you kind of have to start on that early to be able to see the whole thing through. So those are some recommendations of things to consider. Dr. Riethmeyer talked about the navigator in one of his earlier slides. That is the place you'll find the course descriptions for every single one of these classes. It will tell you more about what that class has to offer and what types of assignments and things students would be doing in those classes. So definitely rely on that for information. Next slide, please. So the Learning Lab, as I said, is like a study hall period. It's an option for students to take. They don't have to, but as students transition to high school, it would be nice for some of them, I'm sure, to have some time during the school day to get some schoolwork done. During Learning Lab, we offer tutoring, both math and the Writing Center, for students to access as needed. The library is also open for students to go to do research. And as I mentioned, it's just a nice time to get some work done during the school day. So especially if your student has a lot of extracurricular activities, or you're just thinking it might be overwhelming, you know, the amount of work in high school. Students can take a learning lab for the whole year, or they can choose just to do it for one semester or another. So that's up to you. Next slide, please. So we hope that everyone's putting a lot of thought into what they put on their schedule, and they're finding some things that they get really excited about that they can't wait to take. There's so many good choices at Lindbergh High School, so I know they will. But please make sure students are choosing carefully. Once the schedules are put in and we start making the master schedule, those are the classes your student has chosen, and that's what we're going with. If there needs to be an adjustment, it would need to be made by the end of the school year. Once we go to summer break, we won't be making any schedule changes. Once we start the next school year, we won't be making any schedule changes. So please keep that in mind, that the thought needs to go into the courses at this time. We do not honor teacher requests, and there is one thing we can change once the school year starts. If your student signs up for 7 classes and then decides that the workload is a little heavy and they want to drop an elective and pick up a learning lab in its place, that is something we can accommodate up until the first 6 weeks of a semester. Next slide, please. Okay, Mrs. Galvin, you're up.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Next slide, please. I'm going to go over some important information about the honors program, starting with a common question that I get is in the Navigator, why are classes labeled honors or AP? So an honors and AP class both study the curriculum at a deep level and a rigorous pace. You'll notice in the timeline as a student transitions 9th to 10th, we have honors classes, and then in 11th and 12th, those 2 classes in particular become AP classes. That's really based off who determines the curriculum. So in 9th and 10th grade, Lindbergh High School gets to determine the curriculum for those 2 courses. AP correlates to an advanced placement course, which means the College Board is determining the curriculum, and we follow it at Lindbergh High School. Next slide, please. So the message tonight has been, we have a lot of great options, and it can be really difficult when, trying to decide between all these great options. And that includes trying to decide between taking an honors class or a class at the college prep level. And really what we want you to do is to have your student have those conversations with your teacher, because those teachers have been with your student all year long and they really know them the best. So whatever that current teacher is recommending, that's really your best bet on how to decide between honors and regular or college prep. So the other thing to consider though is we really want students to choose a balanced workload. A student may be recommended for all honors classes, and this is when you, the parent, come in are really an important part of that decision making. How does your student handle stress? What kind of extracurriculars are they involved with? And so all those external pieces are really important when you choose a balanced workload. And what balance means is different from one student to the next. And so that's where listening to the teachers, being a valuable input as a parent, all those pieces together will help your student choose a balanced workload. A good rule of thumb, though, is that an honors class has approximately 30 minutes of homework per night. That might vary, some less, maybe some more, depending on if there's a project or a test, but it can get pretty cumbersome if a student is taking too many honors classes. Next slide, please. So as students get older, it's important to start thinking about advanced placement, which are college level courses that are taken during high school. Many universities give students college credit or placement for the work they've done in high school and can help them start kind of ahead of the game once they get to college. Lindbergh is proud to offer 25 AP classes. First access to those generally becomes when a student is a sophomore. Unless a student is accelerated in some way, usually freshmen are taking honors level courses, and then slowly but surely they turn into AP classes as they move throughout high school. Next slide, please. In addition to AP classes, I'm very proud to talk about our AP Capstone Diploma program. This is a capstone program for students who have a plan of going to college, and it's a skill-based program that a student can take during grades 10 through 12. And it's a program that helps students really hone important skills they need in high school and in college. So skills like critical thinking and communication, research, and collaboration. So we offer 2 great courses that allow students to not only earn a Lindbergh High School diploma, but also an AP Capstone diploma. Next slide, please. So there are three required components if a student is thinking about the AP Capstone diploma. The first class will be AP Seminar. A student can take that in grades 10 through 12, and that's an elective credit. And then AP Research, which is for grade 12 only, and that's an English credit. Then at some other point in high school, they can take 4 other AP classes, and those pieces put together make up the AP Capstone Diploma program. Next slide, please. You might be thinking, holy cow, that was a lot of information really fast, and I agree. So I invite you to, during the breakout sessions, to come learn more. I'm going to be doing a breakout session every 10 minutes about AP Capstone and go in a lot more depth. In addition to that, I know these slides are going to be shared out, so there's a presentation linked here as well for you to learn more. Next slide, please. So the last piece that I would like to talk about tonight is dropping an honors class. Mrs. Kinsler talked about how important it is to choose classes now that best fit your student. However, sometimes a student may be in a class that it feels too difficult or overwhelming. Our policy on dropping an honors class is that the student must stay in the class for this first month of school. During that time, we'll assist the student. The teacher will help the student get their bearings. We'll help them find access to tutoring or different ways they can get help in the class. And so hopefully they can find their way. If at the end of that month that things are still not going well, we do have a process on how to change out of an honors class. Keep in mind, it's a team decision. You, the parent, are a really important part of that. The student, the teacher, the counselor, and me, we really make decisions as a team about what is best for the student. The one thing to remember is that dropping an honors class is not always a guarantee. Sometimes there's not space. Sometimes it's the right decision for the student to stay. I look forward to working with your kids, and please come see my presentation tonight for AP Capstone. Next slide.
Thank you, Mrs. Gallivan. Okay, so if it feels like we're going fast, we are. We have so much to share with you in a short amount of time. I hope everyone comes back for the breakout sessions to get more specific information. So just wanted to let you know we realize it. Okay, the attendance policy. I just wanted to kind of share with you some other pieces of information that are pretty important about high school. As your student goes through high school, they are earning credits. They must continue to earn credits to graduate. And there's an opportunity, that's the wrong word. If a student misses too many days of school, they may potentially lose their credit for having too many absences. So if they miss more than 5 days of a class, that would result in a no credit for class. Obviously, if your student has doctor's visits or they're quarantined for COVID or something like that, then you would submit that documentation. Those absences would not be counted against that total. But if they do end up missing more than 5 days, then they have an opportunity to make up hours after school. Just wanted to draw your attention to this policy because that is a new thing between middle school and high school, and we don't want anyone to be surprised by the attendance policy. Next slide, please. Again, looking into the future, this is something that we want to make sure students are prepared to work their way towards as they go through high school. There is an opportunity for students to earn an A+ scholarship while they're in high school. The scholarship would allow them to attend a community college in Missouri free. So it's a really great opportunity. The requirements are listed here. And of course, that 2.5 GPA is the grade point average for all of high school. So those 9th grade grades go into that. That 95% attendance is for all of high school. So your attendance in 9th grade factors into that. So once you start doing high school, everything you're doing is kind of accumulating and helping you qualify for things such as the A+ scholarship program. There will be A+ meetings next school year for your student to attend if they want to sign up to be a part of that scholarship program. Next slide, please. Again, looking forward, as the students get up to 11th and 12th grade, there are a lot of options for them to do some off-campus learning and off-campus experiences. And these are widely popular. Students really get a lot out of them. But for your student to make sure they're prepared for that. We just want to make you aware that they exist and make sure that the students are taking care of those requirements, the health and the PE classes in their freshman and sophomore years, so that they would have space in their schedule when they get to junior and senior year to take advantage of these really cool programs. Every year we do presentations about these programs so you can get more information as the students get older, but just wanted you to have that on your radar so you know that these are available towards the 11th and 12th grade time of high school. Next slide, please. Likewise, NCAA eligibility. If your student is a fantastic athlete and they think they're interested in playing sports in college, then it's always something just to have on your radar. There are GPA requirements, ACT requirements, taking certain courses, core courses and modern language courses to be eligible. So if you have a great athlete who's interested in being considered for playing sports in college, you'll want to talk to your student's counselor about that. Next slide, please. Summer school. So there's so many great options at Lindbergh. Sometimes it's hard to fit it all in the regular school day. So we do allow students to take summer school before they even get to high school. So 8th graders going into 9th grade can take summer school, get ahead in credits, take some of those requirements out of the way. There are 4 classes a 8th grader going into 9th grade can take in summer school: PE, health, arts and crafts, or independent living. And we are sending out summer school information in February, so coming in the next couple weeks with all of the details about when summer school is, the hours, how to register, all of that. The registration will open in February. The in-person summer school will be at Spearing this summer, and it will be June 13th through July 21st, and it's Mondays through Thursdays only. We will also have some online options available, and so that will be included when, as I said, when we send out the information in February. So keep your eyes out for the summer school info. A lot of families take advantage of that. Next slide, please. Okay, Mrs. Perkins, you are up.
Thank you, Ms. Kinsler. Hello, everyone. Okay, so here's all the contact information you're going to need for our freshman level team. We are here to answer any questions. We know that this process is overwhelming. There will be questions. We are happy to help guide you through this process because we want your student to have a good experience their first year, and we want you guys to be able to access all of these great curriculum options, no problem. So there are contacts. If you need it, feel free to reach out if anything comes up. And then again, we'll all be available in the breakout session after this. Next slide, please. So here's our format for this evening, and the Zoom link is in the chat, and then it was also sent out on a FAQ to all of you via email from Dr. Cochran the other day. Our curriculum night format, it's kind of a new feature for Zoom, so maybe not everyone has used it before, but what you'll do is you'll go into that main Zoom link, and we have 6 sessions. So they're going to be on a rotation. Every 10 minutes, the presentations will start over, which allows you to pick and choose what sessions are interesting for you and your student and get more information. The way that this will work, once you're in the main room, there's going to be a breakout button in the bottom right, kind of on your black tab at the bottom, and it'll have 4 little squares. You'll click that, it'll say breakout rooms, and then once we open them, you'll be able to self-select. So you can choose which room you want to go to. You'll hit a join button. It'll be in a blue round little box. And then if you don't see it on the top, you'll just keep scrolling, and there's going to be more than 20 options. So lots to choose from. And just know that you don't have to stay for the whole 10-minute session. You have the rule of 2 feet. So if you get your question answered and you don't need to stay with Ms. Galvin anymore and you can move on to the biomed section, you're free to do that. So just use this evening to get your questions answered, get as much information as you can. And if any questions go unanswered, again, just reach out to us after this evening. Next slide, please. Here are all of your breakout room options. So these are all the different places that you can go to get information. Again, it'll rotate every 10 minutes. So I'll just put a reminder in the chat and say our 10-minute session is coming to an end. Please select your next location if you would like to do so. And then you'll be able to pick and choose where you go next. Our administration breakout room is actually going to be your home base. So that way, if you need any help with troubleshooting or you have questions for our admin team, Dr. Cochran and myself will be in that home space for you to jump in and ask any questions that you have of us. So we have a lot of great teachers that are here to support you guys and give you some great information for your kids. And again, we're really excited to meet all of your students. We're excited about all these things that we have going on at the high school. Your students are going to be a group of students that's experiencing a lot of these things for the first time. And so we're excited to be part of that experience for them. Okay. That is all we have in this main session, which gives us a few minutes. Did we cover all of the questions in the chat, Dr. Cochran? Do we need to cover anything?
No, I think everything has been answered.
Perfect. So, and again, I don't think I mentioned this. If you have really specific questions about your student or kind of making decisions based for you and your family and what your needs are, I would save those for another time just so you can have a more in-depth conversation and we can honor the questions that you have without having to go through it so quickly this evening. So please feel free again to reach out to the teachers. If you have follow-up questions, we can give you anyone's contact information that you need. So the Zoom link is in the chat. You can hop on over to that. That's going to be starting at 6:40. We'll give you a rundown really quick, and we hope you have a great rest of the evening, and thank you for joining us.